it does feel like the tiger is always chasing us. And I think that's a cortisol. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's a cortisol thing, right? Where you just get so revved up and then your mind literally can't calm down. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Every Day's a Train Wreck. I'm your host, Marley Majcher, and so thankfully I have a guest whose last name I can pronounce very easily. Kim Woods, and based on that last name, I'm going to say she's my woo-woo astrologer for the day. And we're talking all kinds of fun things about the year of the fire horse. We're going to talk about why no one, maybe just me, doesn't feel grounded. We feel discombobulated, the whole thing. So I don't know. Kim, ground us, please.
Yeah.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Marley. When we saw the title, we said we have to be on this show, right? Like we have to be on the show because what more fun is this, right? So super excited to be here.
I agree. And just on that note, it's so funny because I probably haven't mentioned this, and I should mention every once in a while where the title of the show came. And it was like, I'd been approached to do podcasts for 1,000 years. And I was like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? Like just always the guest on somebody else's. And I was like, no, because I don't want to produce it. I don't want to do any of those things. And then finally I got an offer that I couldn't refuse. And I was like, well, what's the title going to be? And I thought for sure they were going to say no. And then when it was Every Day's a Train Wreck, and it was like, because we all feel that way at some point, right? Like we have to put our perfect social media side out there or you'd never get clients, right? And you can't be like, oh, hi, I'm crying mom every day. Or you'd never be able to drive carpool, right? Like, or your partner would be like, yeah, we're not going to put him on the board because his wife is crazy, So we have, but at the same time, we all feel that way at some points where we're just like, oh my gosh, this just is not working out behind the scenes and I'm faking it till I make it. So anyway, thank you for like that title. And I'm so glad to have you on the show. And let's jump in.
We need to start with the fact that our minds are a train wreck. Like,
yes.
Honestly, let's be perfectly clear. Our minds have run amok. Right? Mm-hmm. We feed them way too much. They're like little toddlers. They want to be like, they want all the attention. They want all the things. We have way too many ways to get information, right?
Yes.
And at our fingertips, in our faces, it gets pushed to us, it gets pulled. We can't swipe fast enough. We can't read fast enough. We can't even look at a screen the same way that we looked at it before, right? Because there's so many things coming at us and moving.
Right.
So our poor minds, just like little toddlers, they need a nap.
That's so funny because I half the time I'll just be saying to myself, I just feel like I need a cookie and a nap. Okay, so so we're channeling on the same speed here, and so we need a nap. But is anybody going to get out from listening to this podcast and go take a nap? I hope so. That sounds like amazing to me. But first of all, why is it that way? Do they feel that way in Uganda? Like everybody's just got too much stuff going on. I mean, they've got phones everywhere. So is it the phone's fault or is it that we've just revved ourselves up to like, what's the deal? Or maybe we can just blame it on the stars. What do you think?
Oh, 100%. Well, first of all, yes, half of it, right? So part of it is the stars. Absolutely. We are in an age of enlightenment right now. So if we think about 150 years ago when we had the Industrial Revolution, and then 150 years before that, we had science enlightenment. Like we are in that moment. For the next 7 years, our brains are going to be getting the best, biggest, brightest innovations, insights, ideas, original thoughts, brilliance. It's going to be awesome. However, the non-star side of that is, I say this to my people all the time, who cares if you have a brilliant idea? A, if it's not yours. B, if you don't have any sort of bandwidth to actually capture it.
Right.
And C, if you really don't want to commit to it. We want to make sure that our minds are not always in the driver's seat. That's the deal. We have created a life where our minds are always in the driver's seat and our minds can't handle it.
No. And in fact, I was just talking to a girlfriend last night and, she and I are both like high achievers. We were both, and what's ironic is that it isn't like, I think either one of us would be particularly happy, just like moving to the island and being, having the opposite kind of what we have right now. But that being said, it does feel like the tiger is always chasing us. Like, and I think that's a cortisol. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's a cortisol thing, right? Where you just get so revved up and then your mind literally can't calm down. Like so many times, especially in the last few weeks, because I've been just, cranking on deadlines and pushing this new startup through that we're getting funding for. And it's like my brain is just never off. And I literally feel like the tiger is chasing me all the time. And I know it's not good for me, right? I know it's,
Yeah.
stress and all that other stuff. But how do we adapt and function in this culture and somehow give the tiger a cookie and a nap?
100%. So we want to go to nature and look at nature. I'm not saying everybody go take a walk outside. I'm not saying that. But what I want to say is that the tides come in and out. Our lungs take energy, air in and go out. The moon wanes and waxes. There's a beautiful natural rhythm of life that is everlasting and sustainable. So if we are feeling burnt out, exhausted, stressed, our minds running amok, and we're having the law of diminishing returns, we want to actually take a moment and realize, we have to rebalance. And balance
Yeah.
isn't about being in stillness. Balance is about countermeasures.
I love that because so many times people say, like, I can't meditate because I can't sit still. And by the way, pot me kettle. This morning I was trying to do my meditation, and I am telling you, you would have thought I was going to jump off my balcony. I was like, Marley, what is going on with you today? I didn't have extra caffeine. I didn't have extra anything. And my mind was just that like chattering monkey. And so what is it? What do you do when you don't want to take a nap? Like, let's say you're not genuinely tired, but your mind is whizzing. What are those things that balance it out that aren't just like, oh my gosh, I've got to, stop everything?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous to think of we're going to stop it because high achieving people can't turn off the button, right? But we can give ourselves permission to have a different focus, a different cadence, a different rhythm. So I call it like the major interruptus. Like, so if you want to just do something that interrupts, right? We can do 1, 3, 10 breaths. It's amazing. It's with you all the time. You can just interrupt. Another thing is you could pull an oracle card if you wanted to, if you're in the real world, right?
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
And that redirects your mind and it slows it down a little bit. The other thing is you can take a walk out in nature. You can say and know that all these brilliant ideas that are coming, they need space in order to be able to create the magic of their being. So when you are so focused and so hyper like into something, you are eventually going to burn it out and you're not going to have the breadth that it needs, the parts of you that are going to make it so unique and so brilliant and capture the world's attention. So knowing that, you can give yourself permission to just shift a little bit.
So it's almost like what you say to high achievers. It's like what you would say to an athlete or something who does the intense workout and then they have to come back and they have to get a massage or they have to ice or whatever. And it looks like, oh, that might feel so frivolous or whatever. But we have to tell ourselves that is a part of the process.
Absolutely.
Like you can't, because you are exactly right. Like yesterday, I don't know what was going on. Maybe you're going to tell us, but I was getting a lot done and complicated stuff with spreadsheets that were all interrelated and forecasts. And it was kind of amazing. And especially was later in the day. And that's not usually the time that I can do stuff like that. But it was interesting because I got in a rhythm and then my brain, for whatever reason, kind of calmed down. Maybe because it was past the point where I didn't have appointments and the phone wasn't ringing, and people are on vacation, etc. And so I could kind of look out the window while I was doing my spreadsheets, and then I started making these connections that were really good, interesting connections. And I thought exactly what you said. I was like, you cannot force these connections. Like they need to just rise up, right? You can't just be like, now's the time I'm going to get the idea. It's the whole thing about like being in the shower and, when you get your ideas, in the shower. But why do you think so many of us don't take the time to just let things marinate and let the ideas come to the surface?
Because we're not conditioned to. That's the short answer, right?
Hmm.
We're conditioned to only have the masculine expression of life.
Right.
Do more, be more, accomplish more, strive, logic, rational, get the answers. That's what we're
Right.
conditioned for. The way the energies are working now, from now until forever, by the way. So we can either get on board with it or be left behind.
Yeah.
They're about being and receiving and going with the cycles and connections and intuiting and letting our hearts be the leaders, letting our soul, letting our inner knowing, our intuition be the leader. We're going to be led more by instinct than we're going to be by logic. And you can already see it.
So give us examples when you say we can already see it.
Look what's happening with AI. Nothing makes sense. There's no lot, like, yes, well, appreciate that there's coding and that there's
Yes.
logic behind it, but it's so exponential and fast moving that our
Yes.
brains can't keep up with it.
You're
So
correct.
think about it. You go in, and I'll just use chat. I'm not going to abuse chat at all, but I'm just saying, like, you go into chat,
Okay.
it's free for as one of the layers, right? And
Hmm.
you can go in and you can ask it any question you want. It's going to give you an answer faster than you can even think of asking the question.
Right. Barely before you can even finish it. Yes.
Exactly, right? So now you get an answer, but it isn't, you don't even know whether it's based on the question that you asked, right? So then you're trying to tweak it because you're not really sure. And then pretty soon, if you do 3 or 4 or 5 iterations, you have lost the thread of where you began.
Totally.
There's no logic
Totally.
to it because it's so exponentially, maneuvering things based on its own logic model that you haven't input, that it doesn't make any sense. So that's just one easy example. Look at
That's
the
it.
way money works. That's another easy example. It works so illogically right now.
Okay. So dig in. Tell us like what's on the top of your mind about that?
Okay, so the economic layers are broken. There's this, the last 200 years, it's been when interest rates go up, then the stock market comes down. That's been broken. When the
Hmm.
bond market has a yield that's upside down, then we usually see recession pressure. That's broken. Like nothing makes sense anymore. You can't look at the layers anymore in monetary policy. Yes, I'm an economist too, as well as woo. So,
I
so that's
love that. By the way, that is my favorite thing. That's what I should have led with, is because so many times people are like, oh, well, that's just, and I'm like, yeah, no. Okay, here's the real credentials here. So I love that. Okay, okay, so let's dig into that even more now that I know you're in it.
right? Think about this. In the last, what was it, 6 years,
Yeah.
42% of the money created in the world has been created in the last 4 to 6 years. That's
Has
wild.
it? Wait, say that one more time. Say that again.
Yeah. So in the last 4 to 6 years, depending
Yeah.
on who you read, there's
Okay.
been 42% of the money supply has been created because we had the pandemic
Oh,
and they threw $6 trillion in. And then since then, there's been another 2 trillion, another point, and 2 trillion, another point, $10 trillion. Boom. Just created
right.
out of thin air. That's illogical.
Right. Okay, got it. How does the fire horse figure into the whole money thing, or does it?
100% totally does. So we're in the year of the fire horse. And so we just actually entered it cosmically. We did energetically back in this, February with the
Mhm.
Chinese New Year. That was more the nod to this, but Jupiter just went into Leo on the 30th of June, if anybody cares, right?
I do. That's why you're on the podcast and a lot of other people. So keep
Okay.
going.
We have Jupiter, who is Santa Claus, who is the most abundant creator, good luck, fortune. Like everybody wants Jupiter in their chart. That's their good luck charm, right? And so
Mhm.
we have that energy, which we
Mhm.
always have. But then
Mhm.
we have Leo's energy, and they're matching. They do this every 12 years.
Mhm.
So we have this fire on fire on fire on fire. Now, 12 years ago, when we had this, we had a lot of the cosmos in earth and water signs in the outer reaches. Now they're all in air and fire signs. So this is like next level rev up that we have never seen. There's also a magic triangle that's out there we haven't seen in 500 years.
What's the magic triangle?
Yeah, so it's Pluto talking to Uranus and talking to Neptune. And so it's like this quest for spiritual awakening and freedom and scientific discovery. So
Hmm.
we are going to see innovations that are for the next 7 years that are mind numbing. We're going to blow our minds every 5 minutes this year.
When did that triangle start?
The triangle has been coming together for years. It
Mhm.
hit its really concentrated point in 2024, and it will
Mhm.
continue in its really concentrated point until 2028. And it's very supportive.
And tell us more about the year of the fire horse. So I want to dig into that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. So we have Jupiter, Mr. Santa Claus, blessings, fortune, creativity, abundance, money, like sales, like all the things you could ever want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Leo. Leo is the sun. Leo is the center of the universe. Like
Mm-hmm.
Leo is fire himself.
Mm-hmm.
Leo loves to be expressing himself. Leo loves to be the leader. Think of the lion, right? Leo
Mm-hmm.
loves to be sitting in his pride and looking over and saying, yes, I did this. I created this. I'm super creative. I'm super loving the new. I love to take risks. I'm a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, Leo, a lot of people don't talk about Leo in this way. They talk about Leo in the way of, oh, you could be too prideful, be too egotistical, maybe even borderline on narcissism. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
deal: Leo's not that. Leo's
No.
super
Yeah.
vulnerable. Like, Leo is so incredibly generous. He's so kind. He's got the big open heart. Think of the Wizard of Oz, right? The Leo the lion.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want courage, right? And he was like
Yeah.
super marshmallow gooey inside. That's
Yeah.
Leo. So Leo wants to be known for himself. He doesn't want to be known because he's a star. He wants to be known because he's just a good guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He wants people to say, Marley, I see you. I don't just see you as a business owner, as an
Right.
entrepreneur, as a podcast host. I see you. I see you right now. So
Mm-hmm.
Leo is asking us to be seen, heard, and known
Mm-hmm.
in very big, bold, brave ways. Jupiter in Leo is literally a palm in the back of our, like between our shoulder blades, pushing us off of a cliff and saying, jump. No
Mm-hmm.
parachute, 30,000 feet, no problem. You got this. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly the energy right now.
Yeah, well, that's how it feels. And I'm a Sagittarius. So do I
Oh,
have
there you go.
okay, do I have a Jupiter pushing me even further off the cliff?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, thank goodness. What are you, by the way?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, God. Okay, so is it true that we always are like, I don't know, jealous or envious, or we always look up to the sign like right in front of us? Is that true, or do you think that's hogwash?
There's an energetic force in the cosmos that make that true, whether we are, we have free will, so whether we want to do that or not, or buy
Yeah.
into that, we don't have to.
Yeah.
But there's always an evolution that happens throughout the zodiac. So a Scorpio wants to strive towards Sagittarius, as a Sagittarius wants to strive towards Capricorn, as a Capricorn wants to strive towards Aquarius. So there is a
Got it.
natural function there.
And then what happens with the babies that are born that are, first of all, is it every, like, I know there's like year of the dog, year of the whatever, but and then when we have year of the horse, is it always year of the fire horse, or is this year just a fire horse year?
It's every 60 years. So the Chinese calendar is in a 60-year cadence. So there's 5 elements in the Chinese medicine, and then there's 12 years, and those are the years that Jupiter moved through the signs. And so
Right.
you'll have the year of the wood horse, the year of the metal horse, the year of the water horse. This happens to be the year of the fire horse. Last time was 60 years ago.
Oh, I didn't get that, I don't think.
Mhm.
I mean, so what's the difference between a fire horse and a water horse?
Oh, so much. So your horse, you still have the horse energy, right? The horse wants to
Right.
gallop. The horse wants to be there's that quest for freedom that's coming in. I want
Yeah.
independence. Everybody feels like they've been, held behind the stables, and they're like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready
Yes.
to go.
Yeah.
Literally, I said to someone last week, release the hounds. Like, we are like off, like the stable is open. We are running down the racetrack. Now, a fire horse is going to be looking for those sparks, that awakening, that creativity, looking for more risks, because fire
Ah,
is all about creating something new.
right.
Water is going to be looking for relationships. It's going to be looking for how we can come together and make connections. So still in that creative zone, it would be more like weaving a tapestry together
Mm.
than like coming up with all the new color palette.
Based on what you're saying, so then if it's the year of the pig, then there is the year of the water pig and the metal pig
Hmm.
and all those other things. So
Hmm.
what is next year?
So what I can do is stay in the Western astrology calendar. So it's going to be
Yeah.
something super practical, because we're going to move into Virgo. So
Okay, so
I
is
forget
it
who that is.
always going to be the fire whatever? Like, are we in
No,
fire zone right now or no?
no, it doesn't work that way. No,
Oh,
it doesn't.
that's where I was headed. Interesting. So
No.
so the next one could be, so it's going to be another animal and it's going
Hmm.
to be another symbol basically.
Yeah. And don't quote me on this, but Mercury retrogrades are always the canary in a coal mine for what the
Oh,
next year is going to be. And Mercury retrogrades were in water this year. So again, don't quote me, but it wouldn't
yeah.
surprise me if there was like a water earthly energy going on.
Okay, so I think you're the first person who's ever, because I'm just fascinated with Mercury in retrograde, and Lord knows my Mercury is retrograding upon a retrograde at the moment, which we're in at the time of this taping. And
Right.
what is a water Mercury in retrograde? Like, what does
So it
that
depends
do?
on the sign. We have four elements in Western astrology. So think about
Right,
it. They're fire, air, earth, and water. And
right,
so we just move through them.
got it.
So right now we happen to be in Cancer Mercury retrograde. That is asking us to Mercury, here's the deal. Mercury gets such a bad rap.
Yeah,
Sometimes he deserves it because he's a twit, but
yeah,
other times he doesn't deserve it because he's
yeah,
really for our betterment. So when
yeah,
Mercury, he's the canary in the coal mine. So he is the one, he goes around and like flicks all the planets.
yeah.
So he's like flicking the planet. So when he goes retrograde, we all go, because we're so in our minds right now. So
Mm-hmm.
anything technology, anything transportation, anything connection, thought, whatever. Think about what we've created here on Earth right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is upper chakra, like everything's in our heads. So
Yeah.
Mercury wreaks havoc because we have not gotten into our bodies. We haven't let our hearts lead. We don't know what we truly desire, right? We don't know our why sometimes. We don't know our passions. Mercury in Cancer is asking us to reconnect with ourselves and to like go back into that space, like almost like write love letters to yourself, whisper
Oh,
sweet
interesting.
nothings, like be really beautifully rooted, observe, go into your senses, like deliciously absorb life. That's what Mercury is asking us right now.
Okay, and is that because it's in a water sign?
That's because he's in Cancer.
Because he's in Cancer. Okay, got it.
Mhm.
And okay, yes, got it. Because Cancer is the like emotional.
Mhm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So then whenever the next Mercury in retrograde is, whatever sign it's in, let's pretend I don't know when it is, but let's
It's going
pretend
to be
it's
Scorpio and it's going to be November 13th. Or no,
so
excuse
Scorp
me, October 13th. October 13th.
okay, so then that's isn't that then Libra? Or does
No,
the
see, so the sun is going to click along. It's 1 degree every day, blah, 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 blah. The sun just goes.
right.
Mercury's so close to it, it's going to be within like 30 degrees of that. So it's never far away, but sometimes it's ahead and
Oh.
sometimes it's behind.
Oh
Same thing
god.
with Venus
Okay.
is like 60 degrees. So it's like they all travel together, but they're not exactly in the same sign at the same time.
Okay, so now my mind is blown. Shocker.
I know.
But
I know.
what okay, so if it's going to be October 13th and that's Scorpio, that's another water sign, right?
This is why I'm saying this year is the sign of the water for Mercury retrogrades. And that's the canary in the coal mine.
All of
So
them.
that
Okay,
all
I
of
just
them. Yeah, there's
okay,
three of
perfect.
them, all of them. The first one was in Pisces. This one's in Cancer. The next one's going to be in Scorpio.
Oh,
Yep,
that
all of them for
just
2026.
oh, that makes okay. Now, is it always that way? Like they're all in the same
Similarly, like sometimes there'll be sometimes you're right, like sometimes depending on what degree he goes, he might go back into Libra in this case. So it might be a
yes,
little bit of
okay.
air. This year it happens to be only water. Last year it was fire water.
So that's
Last year
why
it
it
was
feels like I'm swimming upstream.
and that's why it feels like you're swimming upstream. But here's the deal: Mercury is so he like I said, he is a trickster. So it's hard to really give him this attribute, but he is the one that has our personal best interests at heart. Like all the planets are conspiring for our success, but he's like, babe, I got you. Marley, guess what? You know what? Things are moving so fast right now. I'm going to give you 3 weeks to catch your breath before that fire horse makes everything burn down. Like it makes
Okay,
you leap
so
out of the
this
thing.
is very important because I mean, and my friends know that like one of them was just like, "Oh my god, I knew I had to ask you if Mercury's in retrograde." And I was like, "Oh yes, it 100% is."
Yeah.
Because I am obsessed with Mercury in retrograde. I have never
Okay.
thought in Mercury in retrograde as a good thing. But you're saying, well, probably actually for me it should really be because so you're saying it has your back because it's telling you just chill out a little bit?
Mercury is anything for retrograde with Mercury. Review, refine, refresh, replenish, restore, rejuvenate, release. That's what that
Reinvent.
Mercury reinvent. Like so anything. So what I tell my clients when we know a retrograde is coming because they do because they hang out with me, they know what's
Yeah.
going to happen, right?
Right, right, right.
So they know exactly the next one and the next one, all the things, right? So we look and I say, if you want to do, say you do have a launch coming, say you have a book thing coming, like say you've done
Right.
a really big deal and guess what? You just have to have it happen. What
Right.
I say is start with a really big, soft launch before that and just do a gorgeous lead in and then have a really long tail.
So that you're basically not doing your massive thing when Mercury's in retrograde. You're like giving it time.
you're giving it time and space,
Got
because
it.
you will learn new things, because Mercury is teaching us, depending on what sign he's in and that what element that is, he's teaching us to slow down and quiet down our minds. Mercury is our best friend when we want our mind to take a nap. He wants us to observe. He wants us to intuit. He wants us to listen to the whispers. He wants us to find joy in different ways than with our thoughts.
Right. Okay. I love that. And like, what type of client gravitates to you? Like, I mean, to me, it's a little bit of like chicken or the egg. It's like, who's our target audience, right?
Yeah.
Versus, or it can go the other way, which is like you just attract
Yeah.
the audience that you're supposed to attract. But like from your clients, like kind of who are they? Do you see patterns in them?
Oh, 100%. So
Really? Oh, do tell.
absolutely. I mean, it's just fascinating, right? So I'll just talk about right now. I am in the season of wealth. So
Okay.
I'm in that in my phase of life. I'm also in that in my creation of my business, and we happen to be in the heading into the season of prosperity. So by the time this airs, we were going to be in the season of prosperity, which is August, September, and October.
Now
And
pause. Why is that? Is it always August,
yeah,
September, and October? Every year it's the season of prosperity. It doesn't have to do with the horse or the Chinese or anybody else.
no, no, it has to do with the earthly rhythms. It has to.
Okay.
You want to go into Wiccan? It has to do with that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so got it. Okay. So is that like harvesting or something like that?
Yeah,
Or
it's
is it?
it's exactly that. It's
Oh, got
exactly
it.
that. Yep.
Okay.
Right? So we're
Okay.
just following the earthly rhythms. So we planted seeds in the spring. We let
Ah,
them grow through power during the, beginning part of the summer, and now we're in
right.
harvest season. That's exactly why. Marley, ding 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 ding. You got
Yay. Okay. Awesome. Okay.
it.
Cause I'm a gardener too. So I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Right.
Okay. But it never dawned
Right.
on me. Okay.
Right, makes sense. So we're in this season of prosperity. So
Mm-hmm.
I have three things that I cycle around. It's power, because we
Yeah.
need to make sure they have power, so we have it without compromise, so that we can have wealth creation and impact building. So those are my
Got it.
three axes that I always spin around, right? And depending upon where we are in the cycle of my season, my client season, the season of the energies, and the season of the calendar of the year, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I work with all these energies, because why don't we have the universe behind us and at our backs, supporting
Right.
us all the time, versus us trying to figure out how to do it ourselves? So right now
Right.
we're in the well season. So the clients that come to me, so bar none, I was just saying this to my small group program, Rich and Powerful Leaders. I was saying it yesterday. This is what I get. I get someone come in on a sales call, and then they say to
Okay.
me, I want to make $10 million. I go, cool. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because if you don't know your why, if you if
Right.
you don't if you don't have the fuel behind it, you're not going to have the commitment or the sustainability or the
Right.
ability to attract resource, right? So I
Right.
am the alignment queen. I am going to
Okay.
align you with your worth, because your worth cannot exceed your wealth, ever. That's
Okay.
fact.
Wait. So say that one more time. Wait. One more. Say.
So here's your wealth is dependent on your worth. I'll say it differently. So however much your worthiness is your wealth can never go above it,
And it's worthiness, like from inside. Like how
from inside.
worthy. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's not your
Okay.
bank account, it's not your connections, it's
Got it.
how worthy do you feel?
Okay. Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
And how do your clients find you typically?
Right? So they have to be woo curious, right? Because if they have no tolerance for me talking about the stars, or talking
Right.
about the earthly energies, or talking about the power of intention,
Right.
they're not my person.
Well, yeah, I was gonna, even though you are an economist, but
Even though I am
yeah,
an economist. Yeah.
right. So do they see something on Instagram? Does the neighbor say, "Oh my God, you got to talk to Kim"? Like what
Yes.
is it? What happens?
So we're two ways. I am in a lot of rooms. So I am in a lot of rooms, and I align the energies for, if it's a wealth room, I align the energies for wealth. If it's an impact driven room, I align the energies for impact. If it's a certain industry, I will align the energies for that industry, right? So I can give
Now,
it
pause one second. When you're saying you're in a lot of rooms, or do you mean like Zoom rooms? Do you mean like rooms where you're speaking? Do you mean like rooms like what
all
kind
of
of
them.
rooms?
All of them. So they could be masterminds, they could be groups, they could be stages, they could be networking communities. That my energy is really vibrant for rooms. So I'll talk to somebody like, they're not a client, so I can say is, I'll talk to
Okay.
somebody like Chief, for example. They're not a
Okay.
client, but I
Okay.
would be in their rooms, and I would be preparing their people for whatever's going to happen for that
Okay.
speaker or for that teaching or for that goal that they have. So that's something that I do. That's something that I do a lot of. Think about if you had a mastermind
Yeah.
and you were doing your mastermind or whatever your bailiwick is, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're finding that people they have blocks or they're not
Mhm.
really getting it, or you want to give them a quantum leap. You
Okay.
call me, because I will go into that room and I will help the people open up their minds. I will help them clear their whole energies. I'll give them information to know what's coming up, and I supplement and complement whatever's happening in that room.
So you're kind of like Roto-Rooter. You're
Yeah.
clearing out the pipes of whatever is stuck, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you're Febrezing it
Yeah.
afterwards with
Mhm.
now let's like,
Zhuzhing it
okay,
up. Yep, I
zhuzhing it
zhuzh
up,
it up.
and you're set decorating and you're applying lipstick and an extra spray of perfume,
Yeah,
right?
but I'm actually quantum leaping everything. So, like,
Okay.
at the present moment, I could be adding the lipstick and making it all beautiful and all the
Yes.
yummy things, but we are going to get a quantum leap for
So
whatever
they're
it
going to
is
be
that
a
you're teaching.
supermodel on top of it.
100%.
Got it.
Yep.
So you might start in a room and somebody who's just had a bad breakup or whatever, and they're feeling gross and they're feeling what, and you're going to just be like, get to the root of that, clear it out, and then so that that person can now go on to whatever it is they are supposed to be accomplishing or getting.
100%. Yeah. And so that's individually, but then you think of the whole group scenario, right?
Right.
So you've got a group that maybe is a group of investors with a group of founders. And there's some, we want to have some deal flow happening, right? But
Got it.
they don't really know each other yet. They don't really have that vibe going.
Ah,
Somebody would
okay.
call me in and say, okay, let's energetically align all this. I can read everybody's energy. I can do matchmaking if people ask me to do that, because I
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
that. I can tell people exactly what's going to happen in the relationship and interactions, business and otherwise. And then, yes, you can get all the answers, and I do the energy cleaning too.
Okay.
And I vibe it
So,
up.
so you, how exactly does one make the call to somebody like you? Is it like, hi, we're about to be publicly traded, and the kook, I mean, I just saw something about WeWork, so that's on my brain for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason. Okay,
Yeah.
so like you got the guy, and entrepreneurs are crazy, right? So you
Yeah.
have WeWork, or you have somebody who's like, oh, I'm gonna surf all day during my meetings because that's when I get my best ideas, that type of thing. And then you've got the
Yeah.
investors who are like, oh my God, rein this person in.
I have a whole outreach program that goes on in LinkedIn. So I've got a whole team that does that. I've got a Substack channel. I go on podcasts. We have a PR person. Like,
Oh,
I am
got it.
out and about so that people have an inkling. And then there's the whole referral base that happens because I am in a lot of rooms.
You yourself, your Kim Woods empire kind of, you're
Mm-hmm.
doing your part, right?
Yes.
You're doing the outreach, you're showing up for podcasts, you're like, sprinkling the seeds out there, right? And
Absolutely.
then like miracle growing them in terms of following up, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera. And then because it's unique what you do, right?
100%. Oh, 1,000,000%. So everybody is so excited. They're like, oh, you don't have any competition. It's so unique what you do. Like my any new marketing team is like, I
Right.
love this. And then within 3 months, they're crying because they're like, oh my God, how do we
First to
describe
market,
you?
because
Like,
first to market is always the most difficult in business. That's
100%.
yeah, it's
100%.
much
Yep.
easier to ride on somebody's coattails. So what do they do in the beginning? So you hire somebody, you hire a new marketing team. I'm going to say you hire the team that you've got now that you really like. So what does a really good like new team look like for you? What would be the issue you'd go to them with? Would you say, I want more clients who are like Susie because I've somehow attracted this kind, or I'm interested in it? Like what would
You
it
hit the nail on the head. 'Cause I have to do it with like audiences. Like, I have to do it with, like my clients, right? So I
Okay.
would say I'm looking for entrepreneurs that are between that $2 and $6 million range,
Mm-hmm.
because they've hit an elbow of transition, and
Mm-hmm.
they're getting roadblocks in some area, and they're really smart and they've thrown resource at it, but they can't quite break through.
So then
That's my
Roto-Rooter
bread and
comes in.
that's
Right.
roto-rooter. That's my bread
Okay.
and butter. So that's one side of it. So
Ah,
there's a frustration level. However, there's also a fascination level, because there's
okay.
just I think you're really cool. I've never met anybody like you before. And
Mm.
I heard you on this podcast, or I
Mm-hmm.
saw you on the TV show, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more. They lean in and say, tell me more. So it's fascination and frustration.
Look, well, first of all, what's your Instagram?
So it's Kim Wood's channel.
Okay, so Kimwood's channel. So somebody goes to Kimwood's channel and they say, "Hey, Kimwood's channel, I heard you on Every Day's a Train Wreck, and I'm kind of fascinated with what you do. I'm a venture capitalist. We have a small-ish firm. We just invested in this company, and we're just all not aligned. We're New York suits, and they've got a great idea, but the founder's got ADHD, and they've got the what can you do for me? What is it that you do? Like if you had to explain it that way, what would you tell the person?
So I would say, what is your vision? And is it articulated? And what is their vision? And is that articulated? And are they aligned? Are your value set aligned? And are you evenly yoked? Right. So those three things I call the three green lights. We're looking for the three green lights. If you don't have the three green lights, there's some misalignment there. First of all, I already know. I don't need you to tell me, but you have to own it. I can't, because I always say to my
Mm,
clients, it doesn't matter that I know, it matters that you know. I'm not here just trying to prove that I'm intuitive. I
right.
am looking for you to come to me and say, I am open, because guess what? I happen to be in New York suit, but I really see the value in this surfing dude all the time.
Right.
And I knew it, but now that we're in the thick of it, it's not really working. Or, my strategy advisors, or my banker, or whatever, or someone,
Mhm.
right? The rest of people in my fund aren't really buying into this. What can you do? Right? Like, so I need to make sure, okay, did your visions align? Probably at some point. Are they
Yeah.
still aligned? Let's check. Are your
Yeah.
values still aligned? Let's check. Are you still in the same rhythm of persistence, of discipline, of commitment? Or are you in a different cycle and it just happens to be a creative cycle that you don't understand? Because if you think about it, we've got one set of people that understand the production cycle.
Yeah.
We have another set of people that understand the creation cycle. That's probably what it is.
What did you mean when you say, "Are you evenly yoked?"
So think about this. You this happens so often. This is the third light that people don't ever look at, and
Okay.
it's how much energy do they have? How much passion do they have? How much drive do they have? How many resources do they have? What are they willing to do to make this thing work? If you are rabid about something and you're like in the season of like, I am going to roll up my sleeves
Mhm.
and dive in and I'm going to do all the
Mhm.
things, and you're yoked to someone that's in a different season of like, you know what, I really want to be on vacation, I don't really want to
Got
do
it.
anything, but we had a great idea together, and we do have the same value set, and we really respect each other and like each other. Doesn't matter. The yoke is really what's going to do it for you. It's either going to do
S
it or not do it.
So it's kind of like it's like I mean, this is a relationship that we're talking about. It's a business
Yeah.
relationship, but it's a little bit like a relationship where it's like somebody's ready to go full bore and somebody else is like, "Oh my god, I'd love to, but I'm in law school right now and like barely have time for cup of noodles," kind of thing.
Yes.
Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a timing thing or an energy thing, or maybe they've just come off of something else and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I just need a break."
100%. So, and we know that there's seasons for things. There's cycles,
Right.
natural cycles of things. So what I can go in and do is, first of all, give people clarity. So now we have some more clarity. I can also give them understanding and maybe some appreciation. Maybe there's just a different way of going about it during this season, which can still work out. Or maybe there's a different decision and you're at a decision point that you need to go and have a fork in the road.
In some ways, I think people could say, "Oh, it's like motivate." I mean, to me, it always kind of comes back to it's like the motivation, right? Like people, everybody says they want $1 gazillion, and then you, as you said, you go back to the why, which is, and they're like, "Oh, they can't articulate it."
Yeah.
And you really have to have that fire in the belly, and then you really have to have that consistent fire in the belly to show up day after day because it doesn't happen all overnight, right?
We're talking real time at this point, and that sounded very practical. And yes, I am a business strategist, so I can do
Yeah,
those things and
yeah,
leadership, you know, um, mentor.
yeah.
However, I can foresee this. So what ends up happening really
Mm,
is someone
hmm.
will come to me and say, I'm thinking of putting a deal together, or I'm thinking of launching something. I would love to go out to this person and this person. Who would be better for me? And I can literally tell you what's going to happen. Bar none, I will tell you how that employee is going to turn out. I will tell you how that investor is going to turn out. I will tell you
That's
what the
so
relationship is
cool.
going to be like. And so you hit it before you even say yes.
It's frustration, maybe not so much. I mean, you can do it. I get it. Where it's
Yeah.
frustration where somebody's in a situation that they need to roto root,
Yeah.
but it could also be frustration of like, I'm trying to get to the next level and I just don't know how to get to the next level. And I'm
100%.
deciding between this and this and this.
Exactly. So what ends up happening is more people will make a decision because they have to than because they want to. So more people come to me frustrated. I just we just clear the issue. I'm not clearing the frustration. I'm getting to the root of the issue. We clear that. Now you're ready for the next level. So now let's talk about what that next level is, and then we can open up all the things.
And so then how long does it take you? I mean, I know I'm sure it's, on a case by case basis, but I mean, is it like a therapist? Like okay, you're going to have to show up because you are very clogged 3 times before we clear it? Or is it one of those things where you're clearing it in 10 minutes?
Honestly, it's the tipping point. Some people are at the tipping. I met someone yesterday, one and done session. She's going to be fine. Like we went through the whole thing, 90 minutes. She's going to be great. I have some clients that have been with me for 5 years because we keep growing.
Well, they just like you. I think that's
well,
when you've had them for 5 years, they like, you know what? I'm sorry. They
true.
want to
Yeah,
hang
you're
out
right.
with you for dinner. They
Yeah.
are like, I love my girl Kim. They don't want to be released. That bird does not want to fly
But
out
we're
of the
still
nest,
growing.
right?
Here's my thing and
I
the
get
job,
it. No,
right? So we're
I
still
guess.
growing. We're still doing things. But the other reality of this work, Marley, is that I'm doing stuff with family. I'm doing stuff with kids. I'm doing stuff with
Mm.
future kids. I'm doing stuff with grandchildren. I'm doing stuff with, we just had cleared in my small group program yesterday, we just cleared the whole like ancestry for wealth. Like we just did it all. So that was
And
just one session.
did you know that that's what you were going to do? Did you go into that session doing that, or is that what just emerged collectively based on what everybody in the room needed?
So in my group program, we do have a rhythm and a cadence that follows the earthly
Mhm.
energies. We definitely do.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
we're in the prosperity now.
Right.
I had to wait for Jupiter to get in Leo, so I've been waiting with bated breath for a few months to be able to do this. But in the individual program, it's always different. It depends on what that person is dealing with. So I have someone that I had on Monday who she's looking at moving from one state to another state. So she keeps voxering me with all these realtors, and I'm just going into the energy of the realtors, and I'm just telling her exactly
Mm.
which realtor to pick and all the things, and then we pick the date of when the sale is going to be. She'll show me the locations of the homes. I'll go into the homes. I'll tell her what the energy is going to be for, and so we'll manifest and we'll buy the home that she wants through the realtor that will be best for her.
Got it. That is really cool. Okay. And those individual clients then, they come to you, like, would they come to you just because they've heard you on a podcast and they're like, oh, this is cool, I want to have a session?
That can happen sometimes, right? So a lot of times they'll want to get to know me a little bit, right? So this is why we have a Substack channel. This is why we're on Insta. This is why we do the outreach in LinkedIn. Like we have a lot of presence because what people say to me, you have to meet me and experience me.
So that you're boiling the frog, essentially. You're
100%.
warming them up
Yep,
like anything else so that
absolutely.
they know, like, and trust. And then they're like,
Yep,
oh, okay, I get it.
yep.
I can jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you meet somebody, can you automatically pick up their energy? Like, do you just naturally do that or no?
100%. But I will never go into somebody's energy without their permission. So even though this is why I always say it doesn't matter that I know, it matters that you know, right? So
Yeah.
if I just have a switch, Marley, I could
Yeah.
be in your energy and I could channel for you and I could channel the voice of your soul and I could tell you everything. But I would never go into your energy without permission because it's way too I respect the craft too much, you know?
Right.
It's a skill. It would be just like somebody running through your finances and you
Yeah.
haven't given them permission to do that. It's an absolute no.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Like somebody coming over and like looking at your closet when you don't know they're coming and you're like, oh my God, it's not usually this messy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, can you do something fun now and like go into my energy and tell me something interesting or good? Or is that just too scary to do on a podcast?
No, we can do. I mean, here's what I will say is I'm
Yeah.
not going to go in and go deep because we're on a
Mhm.
podcast,
Right.
like
Right. Right.
I'm going to go in and I'm going to just, there's a friend that you have that is trying to get your attention and you're not paying attention to this friend. It's a woman. I don't know who it is. It's someone who's near and dear to you. And there's
Hmm.
something that is not being, and it's not a problem. It's not like she's going to
Mhm.
come out and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, Marley, you're not a good friend because blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But there's something that she's holding on to that's a little bit heavy, and
Hmm.
it needs a little bit of breath,
Huh.
and just know because this right now where we are right now and this
Yeah.
recording time is to notice things that are a little bit quiet, that are a little bit hidden, that are a little
Yeah.
bit unknown. And
Huh.
so when you have this conversation with her, you're going to be like, "Oh, and there's a gift in there for you." There's some part of it that's like It's going to just hit your heartstrings, and you're going to be like, it's going to be a little melty, and it's going to soften
Oh,
you in a way that's going to be super yummy for both of you.
huh. Interesting. And so then I just wait for it to happen, or am I supposed to go poking around trying to figure out who
Don't
it
go
is?
poking around. Don't go poking around. Just be open to it. The Mercury
That's
retrograde, you're
crazy.
not poking around at all.
You don't want to poke.
You don't want
That's
to poke during Mercury retrograde because now the person's not going to understand it. It's going to be a
right.
whole miscommunication. Mercury
Right.
retrogrades are like, they're about receiving. They're about like, who's coming to me and what are
Got
they
it.
presenting? And it's about being a little bit more quiet or a little bit more, for you, it would be a
Observant?
little bit, yeah, like you're inquisitive. So it's sometimes people would have to be more inquisitive. It's not for you. For you, it's like she's almost not saying it loudly enough. She's
Right.
she's gonna dance around it a little bit, and you're gonna be
Huh.
like, "Babe, love you. What's up?
Right. Yeah. Give me the what's the deal?
Give me the
Huh.
skinny. Give me the skinny." And it's
Interesting.
nothing terrible. It's not like, "Oh my god, my partnership is like," it's not that.
Right.
It's
Right.
more like, "You know what? I've been kind of feeling this way and I don't really know what to do with it." And you're going to be like,
Interesting.
"Oh my god, I've been feeling that way too." Like, let's like
Wow.
deliciously go through this together.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Okay, I love it. I love it. Well, this has been amazing. I mean, I could talk to you forever, obviously. Anything else that's like come up as we've been talking about anything since we started that you want to share that's come to you that's even if that's just how people get a hold of you and how you want them to contact you?
Kim Woods channel, like on Facebook, on Insta, LinkedIn, I'm at Kimmy Woods, kimwoods.com. I mean, it's really easy. It's really easy to find me.
Yes.
Substack, I think we called the Kim Woods channel just to be the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so super fun. Come see me, come hang out. We do lots of fun things. We do lunar ritual every other week. We do the
Oh, I love
forecast
that.
every month. We just did an intuition fest where we had a blast with people. So that's how you can find me. What's
Okay.
coming to me right now is
Mhm.
the statement I often say is, your wealth cannot exceed your worth, blah, blah.
Mhm.
We've talked about that. The other thing is you can't think yourself to money.
Yeah. True.
So let's use this time. Yes, I know things are moving fast. I know your mind is getting
Mhm.
brilliant ideas. That's awesome. But let's recognize the heart, your why, your fulfillment, your
Mhm.
satisfaction, your gratitude. And let's really look at your will and your resource and give yourself a break sometimes.
Mhm.
Rest, rejuvenate, replenish, because magic and money go hand in hand. Like your mind has to be it has to take a nap, whether you're
Yeah.
laying down and taking a nap or you're just giving it a little fun job to do.
Right.
Let yourself be open because money wants to flow to you and we want to be able to receive it.
Love it. I love it. Well, at Kim Wood's channel, this has been amazing. I'm so glad. And you are in the midst of a move, and yet you still took time out to do this podcast. So I can't thank you enough. And for those of you who have not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Please reach out to Kim Woods. She has been so much fun and has been such a great sport with me putting her on the spot about all this stuff. And most importantly, share this episode with a friend who you feel like maybe needs some kind of intuitive something. Or maybe you're the woman out there that's got something to tell me. I don't know. Come find me. But I couldn't help myself. You just said I don't have to go poking around, but there I am. So Kim, thank you for being on. I can't wait till we do it again. But this is Marley Major signing off on Every Day's a Train Wreck, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.